Welcome to the Talking with Tech podcast. My name is Chris Bouguet, and as always, I'm here with wait a second. Rachel's not here today. It's two of the authors from the Inclusive Learning 365 book, Karen Janowski and Mike Murata. How's it going?
Woohoo! Great to be here, but we're taking the place of Rachel. Very difficult shoes to fill. She's a rock star.
We'll try the best we can, Rachel. It's all we can do is try.
We're missing Beth. Beth had a family emergency, couldn't make the recording, but that's okay. We're going to talk about this great event that we have coming up. Karen, I think people who have been listening to the podcast would know that the last couple episodes, they've heard little teasers about what this event is that's coming up, you've shared a mid-roll ad. Mike has shared a little mid-roll spot. Beth has shared a mid-roll spot, all talking about the inclusive Road to ISTE road trip. Karen, you want to tell us about it?
So excited to share this with your audience. We really hope that you help participate with this. But what is it? It's a road trip that we've designed and planned that'll start in Textile headquarters in Woburn, Mass., which happens to be the next town over from where I live. So it's a road trip starting from there and ending in New Orleans at the International Society for Technology and Education, huge conference at the end of the month. So the road trip is about 1,600 miles. We'll pick up Mike in New Jersey, Beth in Maryland, Chris in Virginia, and then continue on the way to New Orleans with some really fun stops along the way, preaching the mantra, inclusive learning for all. We hope that you help spread the word and join us because we've got some participatory events.
So Mike, what's the road trip going to be like?
Well, it's going to be a blast is what it's going to be like. I mean, I think it's either going to go one or two ways or maybe right down the middle. It'll be everything you could imagine a road trip would be, like everybody throws the doors open at a rest stop and walks in opposite directions and never talks to each other, or we have a blast and we never want to leave each other. It could go those couple ways, or it'll just be a great couple days. I think it's really going to be fun to have an opportunity to have a lot of time together to both talk to each other and share out on all the social channels that we're going to do. We'll do live events throughout. We'll answer questions through social media. We'll share resources, all while we find interesting places to stop as we go along the way. Isn't that the beauty of a road trip? And this is the best kind of road trip. It's a loose road trip where you don't have to get somewhere by a certain time. We just eventually need to end up in New Orleans.
Karen, you had mentioned the ISTE conference. So one of the reasons we're excited about the ISTE conference is that it is really a conference for everybody. Like there's a lot of, it's not specialized in special education. It is for everybody. So why is that so exciting?
Well, the reason that I'm psyched about it is because our usual audience and our colleagues are attending things like the ATIA and Closing the Gap, and we just did the CATE conference. I mean, we all know about inclusivity and about inclusive design and about universal design for learning, but we need to spread this word to a larger audience. And at ISTE, it's a much larger percent. Most of the people there are general educators. And we want to help them better understand what inclusive design is all about and helping them adopt an inclusive mindset. So like Mike said, let's take over the conference. Let's be a force for inclusion and inclusive design. Let's be a force. Bring out the Star Wars music.
I love it.
Here for the Star Wars reference.
Karen, you're not the one who's supposed to drop the first Star Wars reference. How did that happen?
I'm somewhat into Star Wars. It's okay.
It's weird because I have 12 hours worth of Star Wars on my iPad we're going to watch in the car. So we'll be all set.
I have a bad feeling about this, Mike.
Let's see what other references we can bring into this.
So, yeah, Karen, you just bring up such an excellent point is that, for years now on this podcast, we've been talking about augmentative and alternative communication, using technology to design inclusive experiences. And that's sort of the idea about like, okay, so if you learn language using AAC, do you go off to your own room in this secluded space and only learn with those people who are also using AAC? No, we're trying to build this inclusive environment where everybody can be in the same spaces together. Beth was here. She's here. She was able to make it to the recording. How's it going, Beth?
I snuck in. It's going well. It's going well. And what I want to know about the road trip, the most important thing about the road trip is who's packing the snacks.
That is pretty critical.
I'm really into chocolate. And I make the best chocolate chip cookies. I will bring them for the trip.
Okay, well, Karen, you've signed up for the chocolate chip cookies.
So Beth, tell us a little bit about our partners for this, because this wouldn't happen if it wasn't for Text Help. So can you give us a little bit of the story about how we partnered with them and how this all came about?
Yeah, absolutely. So we were fortunate enough at ATIA, actually, to get into a conversation with some of our friends from Text Help, Shauna in particular, and about the fact that we were going to be heading down to New Orleans, and wouldn't it be really cool to make this a driving road trip? And that not only could it be a driving road trip, but it could be an inclusive road trip where there'd be opportunities for us along the way to pull out our favorite inclusive learning tools and use them to supplement and enhance our road trip experience. Because just like kids, when they're off for school in the summer and are getting an opportunity to be out of the typical four walls of their classroom, there are opportunities to learn everywhere you go, but we want to make sure that these are accessible learning opportunities. And so Text Help was the perfect partner to go in on this with us. And we're super excited for their help. We've got all sorts of stuff ready for them. We're going to have our car decked out with decals. We're going to have some stuffed friends along for the ride that are going to be some very special text helpers. We can't wait. We are going to be a vision down the highway for sure.
And Chris, you know what else is great too? Because we're all about inclusion. It's not just for people who are attending ISTE. There's a not at ISTE hashtag, and we want to make sure that people who, even if they're not at ISTE, can still be part of the process and can join in the fun with us. And that leads us into another exciting event that's part of our road to ISTE.
Really, that's not all, right? So there's this road to ISTE. Follow the hashtag Inclusive Road to ISTE. You can learn all of the information and see how you can participate over at inclusive365.com, right? Do I have all that right, everybody?
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
But that's not all. All right. So, Karen, what else?
So we also have a scavenger hunt planned, the wonderfully inclusive scavenger hunt. It's called Wish. So we are announcing it. We're unveiling it next week on AT Chat. So again, it's an wonderfully inclusive scavenger hunt with all kinds of opportunities for people to explore maybe some new inclusive ideas that they've never even considered before, things that they've never tried, features that they never even knew about. So it's a really a fun way. And we do have prizes. In fact, the grand prize is an Apple Watch.
Wow. I wish. Yeah, no. We're going to have all sorts of really cool prizes, right? We're going to have books. We're going to have Amazon gift cards, some fun technology. And I'm so excited because it's not just for the fun of it, but it's the whole idea behind this scavenger hunt is that you are going to learn in a fun and playful manner. So some of the things that you might be looking for on the scavenger hunt are an inclusive tool that you can use, or a visual support that might be just perfect for a learner, or maybe putting in a link for an amazing podcast for your own professional learning. Just saying.
And what's really nice about that, it feels very complementary to the book, and the way that we envision the book and how we put the book together is that these are not ideas that are super complicated that you just can't take on. These are simple, strategies and ideas that you can use to continue to evolve as an educator and think more inclusively. And the flip side of that is these are great ways to hook others who start to say, well, that's not my thing, or I don't work with, oh, here it comes, those kids. These are great examples to say these are for all. Think about this for all the learners in your room. This isn't just about those. And yes, I am air quoting. Everybody can confirm I am air quoting. But thinking about it from the broader spectrum of solutions for learners.
And many of these, oh, sorry, Chris.
No, go ahead, Karen.
Many of these options are readily available. They're ubiquitous. And so we want to show people what things in their pocket on their phones that they may not have even realized are available. And again, like Mike said, yeah, start with yourself and then spread the word. Let's let everybody know about these readily available, inclusive learning options.
All right, so I'm listening. I'm in. I want to participate. I want to follow along with the road trip, and I want to participate in the scavenger hunt because, like Beth said, this is a fun way to participate. And I'm going to grab 2 or 3 of my best friends to make a team to do the scavenger hunt together. It's always more fun to learn together. So how do I participate? How do I learn? When is it, like Karen, you mentioned it kicks off at AT Chat. How do I get invited to this AT Chat? How do I learn about it? How do I get all of the different scavenger hunt items, and where do I go to learn more?
So the best way that you can get involved is to head on to Twitter, pull up your search bar on Twitter and type in the hashtag ATChat. Click on most recent, do this at 8:00 Eastern time, and click on most recent, and you are going to see a live synchronous chat happening that's going to be facilitated by our very own Karen and Mike, talking all about this wonderfully inclusive scavenger hunt. You can't be there at 8:00 Eastern time. Don't worry about it. You can always go in and search for AT Chat and see whatever's happened. And Mike is definitely going to be posting a wakelet about it. So that's the very first way that you can get involved.
Yeah, I always think that the safest way to find things, depending on when you're listening to this, because you might listen to this on Thursday the 16th and say, I can't believe I missed that. Visit our website, like Chris mentioned, inclusive365.com. There is a page dedicated to the road trip, and all of the information about the events will show up on that page. When we do the activities, like we're going to do a town hall on June 13th, but this will come out after that. We'll post the recording there so you could watch it. You can, like Beth said, we can follow along on the Wakelet archive of all the tweets. And then we'll do a Zoom based AT Chat on the 22nd of June, the day before we all leave. So that will be your last chance to see us all fresh faced and ready to go before the road beats us down. Like, I wanted to see what you guys said about that. But yeah, like after we hit the road, but everything will end up on the website. It seems like a safe place to head to find information, and also check all of your social channels and look at that hashtag inclusive road to ISTE.
All right, 2 last things. And that is, we talked about the beginning of the event. How does it all wrap up? How does it all end when we're at ISTE?
We have a lot of events planned at ISTE. We've got Cards Against Exclusivity on Sunday. We're going to be at the Book Creator booth on Monday and on Wednesday. We're going to be at the Text Help booth throughout the week. We're going to do some coffee EDUs with them. We're going to also be at the Inclusive Learning Playground on Tuesday afternoon. And we also have our own session after that. There's so many ways. If you are at ISTE, or even if you've never heard about ISTE and now you're intrigued, maybe I should go to this conference. Look for us. We're going to have some book signings. We want to be a force, as we said already. We want to be a force. We want to make a difference at ISTE. So there's lots of ways that we will be involved once we're down in New Orleans.
Oh, go ahead, Beth.
And when we're gonna sort of wrap this whole thing up with the live event at ISTE. It'll start with that inclusive playground Tuesday afternoon, and it's going to go right into our session, which I think is at 5:30 on 5:30 Central Time, 5:30 Central Time in New Orleans. And we are going to close out our session by hopefully drawing some names of folks that are winners. And it will not just be those folks at ISTE, right? Don't despair, like, I can't get to ISTE. I'm not even going to bother. No, bother for sure, because we're going to have winners who are both at ISTE and not at ISTE. And we're super excited. And there's going to be cool prizes for everyone. There's going to be prizes just for participating. Maybe you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have time to to do all of these different scavenger hunt items. Even if you just did one or two, you're going to be in the drawing. Now, if you do more, you'll definitely be in the drawing, have better chances in the drawing. But even if you only have an opportunity for a little bit of learning is better than no learning at all. So do what you can, right? That's part of being inclusive.
Now, Mike, I mentioned there's one last thing, a detail that we haven't shared yet in this conversation, and that is the Inclusive Road to ISTE Spotify playlist, where we have been putting songs in there that we've been thinking of, but then it's an open playlist that anyone could add songs to that we will listen to. We might make some videos and say, hey, this goes out to so-and-so because they added it to the playlist, watching us rock out to some songs. Mike, tell us a song that you've put on the playlist.
Oh my God. I went for every song that I could think of that I like to ride in the car with loud with the windows down. That was my criteria for my playlist entries. So I apologize to everyone. And when you go on the playlist, you'll see them all. What's one that I would say? It's going to be the first one I mentioned to you, Chris, and it's going to be Van Halen, Panama. That is a driving song to me. That is just something for me on the road.
Love it. What about you, Karen? What's the song you put on there?
One of the first one, like I mentioned before too, it's Lynyrd Skynyrd, Freebird, the live version, the live long version.
Nice.
Definitely, it's one for the road trip.
That's good. A lot of miles can be put under our feet with that one. That's good.
And Beth?
Well, I was just going for things that were sort of road trip themed. So, I'm all in for Steppenwolf. I'm all in for Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen and the Proclaimers. It's going to be way more than 500 miles, but so I was going all for anything with that road trip theme to it.
Fantastic.
Chris?
And the one that I'll mention, of course, is I'm a big Muppets fan. Got to put Moving Right Along on there. I think they're heading out to California in that song. We're going to New Orleans. There's also, I put some songs in there that have New Orleans references. So if they're just mentioning that city or a band from that city, I put that in there. So lots of little things like that. And what we would love for you to participate in that as well by sharing some songs. And again, like I said, we'll give you shout outs over social media. If you add songs, we'll make little videos and we're going to have a blast. Again, Mike, what's the best way to participate and go and add a song to the playlist?
Yeah. Again, if you can't go wrong with going to our book website. So if you go to inclusive365.com and search for the Inclusive Road to ISTE page, there's a link on the front page, on the homepage, and then it has its own link in the menu. Everything is there. The link to the Spotify playlist. We've been participating in podcasts beyond this one with Chris today. We've been participating in others. We're going to post that information on the page as well. We'll have some of the links of how you can join us beforehand. And then once we announce the scavenger hunt items, that information will live on that page as well. So you can't go wrong, inclusive365.com.
Awesome. We'll have all that linked in the show notes as well. So you can go to talkingwithtech.org and get links to go to inclusive365.com. And of course, feel free to reach out to any one of us about questions, or if you're like, oh, I want to participate, but I'm not sure, just reach out and we will help you, because it is going to be a blast and we don't want you to miss it. So let me tell you a little bit about the interview for today. The interview today is one that I did in person with an actual student, a learner that is in one of our schools that is finishing up her capstone project as a senior, where she had reached out and she wanted to do something related to assistive technology and potentially AAC, And so we met with her, and well, I'll just let the interview speak for itself. So this is my interview with Ceci Fetterolf.
Hello, my name is Lance McLemore, and I am a team member with Impact Voices. AAC users make up a very small percentage of the population. We are scattered, isolated, and rarely or never get to meet anyone like us. This makes it difficult to impossible to have a community. Impact Voices helps to fill in that gap. Impact Voices is a non-profit organization who supports, empowers, and connects AAC users worldwide. Impact Voices connects AAC users together to empower them to make an impact in their community. Impact Voices creates a space where AAC users of different abilities and experience come together to talk, laugh, encourage each other, and enjoy the company of others like ourselves. For more information on Impact Voices and to get involved, visit our website, connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
So, Ceci, you are a senior in high school. Right? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I attend Loudon Valley, and I've been really fortunate in my time here to pursue math and science related fields, which has kind of led me to a field of engineering, and the work I do at my church has helped me pursue working with special needs as something I want to focus on.
Gotcha. So you have some experience working with students with disabilities through your church.
A little bit. I just volunteer on like a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm. What is that like? Like, what do you do there?
Normally I'm just giving lessons and snacks and playing with kids. It's not anything too difficult.
And then here in your senior year, the way the senior year ends up is that there's a capstone project. Can you describe that a little bit? Because I think some people might be listening. They might not really know what's a capstone project. Like, I just finished out my senior year, you know? Like, so what is that?
So a capstone project enables you to pursue an area you want to study in the future and explore it so that you have a better idea of what you want to study in college.
Okay, and so you get to create anything you want?
Pretty much,
within reason. You have like an advisor that you talk to and kind of figure it out together?
So I have a community mentor and a teacher mentor.
Okay, and what's the difference?
The teacher mentor is your person at the school who you have to interface with, and the community mentor is more responsible for helping plan your capstone.
Gotcha. Okay. And then can you give me some examples of what other people are doing for their capstone project, like friends of yours or things you've seen in the past, you know?
Some people are painting murals. A couple of my friends are shadowing at like architectural places. Some are helping coach. It's really just anything you want to focus on.
Gotcha. All right. And so you had an idea. How did this come about that we met? And then we're going to describe your capstone project in a second. But let's talk about what your idea was for your capstone project.
Well, I knew I wanted to do something that combined engineering and work with special needs children.
Right. And then what did happen, right? Did you mention it to your mom or something and she had a friend?
She had a friend who talked to someone in, I think, Fairfax Assistive Technologies, who reached out to you.
Yeah, it's Arlington, but close.
Okay.
Yes. Marby, if you're listening, right? Yes. So your mom reached out to a friend of hers who she knew was working in assistive technology, because you had mentioned this to your mom, like, hey, I might want to do something along those lines, technology and people with disabilities.
Yep.
And then Marby was like, actually, I know a guy.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that here, this particular school is actually, my son goes to this school. Yes. Okay. He's a junior. And my wife used to work in this school for 6 600 years, I think. No. She loved her time here before she became an assistant principal. So, and I've worked in the school for 600 years as well. Like, I know all the teachers, and some of my best friends are here. So I was like, yeah, I know that school. Yeah. So then we got together, and we brainstormed some ideas. It was you, me, and then one of our specialized instructional facilitators for assistive technology. Her name's Jean. We got together and we brainstormed ideas. Yeah. So what were some of the thoughts you had when we met, like about the ideas that we came up with?
I was pretty much open to anything, but I know you suggested 3D printing, like
the key guards?
Right, key guard for a communication device, as well as shadowing and making books to teach content. But you also mentioned making videos for vocabulary on communication devices, and that's what really stood out to me.
That's the one that's sort of like, hey, let's do that. Like, so you have an interest in sort of like making videos and doing stuff like that?
Yeah, I'd say so. I like being creative and trying to put together things that are helpful to other people.
And maybe I'll say, like, when it comes to engineering, I feel like a challenge, not that I'm an engineer, but I know enough to, and have talked to enough, some of my friends are engineers, that there's a gap between what engineers do and communicating the results to people, right? And so the idea of taking a complex concept like a vocabulary term and describing it like a math vocabulary term or a core vocabulary term, and describing that in terms that other people can understand, that's a whole skill set in itself, right? Okay, so we met, and you said, okay, let's make some videos and maybe make some books. Is that right? And so tell me your experience. What did you make? I mean, I guess we should say we did meet to talk a little bit about what core vocabulary is, and did a little mini training session about that, right? To teach you about that kind of stuff. But I have not, besides seeing one book that you've created, I have not seen videos or really explored. I'm hoping you'll show me some today, and people will get a live reaction of me seeing the videos and seeing the book. So tell me about your experiences. What's it been like?
So when I was making the books, I started off by trying to explain calculus concepts, which honestly was pretty difficult because there's only so much that you can simplify it without completely losing the idea of the concept. But I talked about derivatives, and that was really interesting to try and expand the way I viewed them as well. And then I simplified it a little bit and talked about shapes. And then with my videos, I thought it would be beneficial to organize them on a poster so that they're more accessible instead of having to scroll through YouTube to find a concept. And so I ended up making, I think, 15 videos and organizing them in a poster.
What? You made 15 videos? I didn't know that. I didn't know how many you had made. Okay, so you made 15 videos. And what do you mean organizing them on a poster? Like a video is something you play on a computer. So what do you mean like a poster?
So for every video I made, I created a QR code that matched that video and led to a link on YouTube, and then took screenshots of every image on the communication device and put those together so that people could just pull out their phones and scan it so they could find it easily.
Fantastic. So, all right, so this poster has been created. Let's dig in here for a second. Let's talk about the tools you use. So, what did you use to make the QR code?
I found this app called like QR Reader. Okay.
And so it's just some sort of, hey, I'm going to Google or do an app store search for how to create a QR code.
Yeah.
What the first thing that came up, let's learn this and do it. Okay. Easy, hard, what would you say?
Like, it was pretty easy.
Pretty easy. Put the URL in, boom, spread out a thing.
Yep.
Okay. Then what did you use to make the poster?
I haven't actually printed the poster yet, but it's on Google Docs, and I just inserted images and tried to create a graph that looked okay.
A graph? Tell me more.
It's this table with images in it and the QR code so that it's organized by word.
Gotcha. Okay. 15 words. Which words did you pick?
Well, my original plan was to try and get all 84 of the LAMP Words for Life introduction words, which was a little overwhelming. So I just started off by filming the ones that I thought would be most simple, because it's sometimes difficult to explain words like mine. But I explained finished, no, yes. I can show you in a second. But
okay, do you want to pull it?
Okay.
What do you have? Do you have your like you said, you put it all together in a Google Docs. So you have a.
Yes.
Did you use your Chromebook or your own computer?
I used my Chromebook.
Chromebook. Okay.
Like.
Oh, wow. Okay, so let me describe, because people, of course, we'll have links to all this on our show notes, right? If as long as you're cool with it, because this is just something you're sharing on the internet for anybody, right? So what I'm looking at is a Google Doc that has a table with thick blue outline around each of the cells, right? And then it looks like it's a 3x5 grid, hence 15 cells, right? And then there's different words. You took screenshots of the icons from Lamp-Words for Life, put them in the cells, and then you got a QR code underneath each one. Underneath each one. Yeah, cool. And it says AAC Vocabulary Project. Awesome. Okay, so the words are
where, no, turn, up, yes, sit, drink, come, love, down, some, read, little, watch, and finished.
Sweet. All right. Excellent. All right. So then you had to go off and make these videos. Like, okay. And you said you started, what was the first one you did?
I think I started with where.
Where. Okay. And what was your process?
So at first I would just outline on paper the ideas for my videos, and I tried to put 2 to 3 snippets in each video so that I could explain different definitions of each word. And then I used my siblings and my parents to kind of be actors, you might say, in my videos.
You got actors to be in the videos.
Yeah.
All right. So I can't wait to see what one of these videos looks like. What's the best way to, should I scan it on my phone? Should we open it up on your computer? What's the best way?
I can scan it.
If people don't know, if you have an iPhone and you're updated to the most recent operating system, actually it's a couple operating systems ago, just the camera app will open a QR code. So you just open your camera app and hovered over the QR code and boom, you brought up this video. All right. So what I'm looking at is a video of and of course people can go watch these videos themselves, right? But you have the camera is pointing down on an iPad with Lamp-Words for Life with your hand hovering over it, and you hit the button that says where. You put a little text over top of it that says where. All right, I'm ready.
What should I wear? I will wear this. If I keep using these tires, they will wear down.
And so you used where in 2 different contexts.
Right.
Exactly. And that's so what we in the biz, we call that repetition with variety, meaning we're showing different ways to use a word. So it's not just teaching one way to use the word, but multiple ways. And we repeat that over and over again. So someone could watch that video. Was that the end of the video? Like nice and short, concise. These are different ways to teach what where is.
Right.
One is we wear clothes, and one is your tires wear down, right? Awesome. Okay. Do you have another one? Let's take a look of one that has, can you think of one that has the actors in it?
Sure.
Come. Okay.
Come. Come over here.
Oh my goodness. Perfect. See there, you got 2 actors. You've got the dog coming, and then you've got someone beckoning a person to come forward. Fantastic. So does each video, so far as watching the 2 videos for where and come, it starts with you modeling on the device, showing where the word, where the word is, and how to access it. Is that consistent? Like it's That's a theme?
On every video I created, yes.
Every video. And they're nice, short, concise. Like, do you find that most of them are like 15 seconds or so?
Right, yes, because when I was looking at examples on YouTube, I found that most of them were longer, which I feel like when you're trying to learn vocabulary, it can kind of be distracting. And so I tried to make them short so that people could understand quickly.
And you could watch them over quickly, right? In some regards, it's sort of the culture of our time, right? So there's an have you ever heard of TLDR? You know what TLDR is?
Not sure.
Oh, okay, let's see. We'll leave that as a question for people out there. TLDR, listeners, do you know what TLDR is? TLDR stands for too long, didn't read, right? You get a long block of text, you scroll right past that, right? Same thing with videos is that, I mean, if someone sends me a YouTube video, the first thing I look at is how long is it, right? Because we are in a culture, a TikTok culture, right? An Instagram Reel culture where we thumb up. So if it's too long, I'm not going
Right.
to watch it, right? So this sort of fits that that mold of quick video, learn it, experience it. I can always watch it over and over and over again as many
Right.
times as I want to. So I love that choice that you made, that artistic choice, but really a practical choice to make it short and concise, and then you can watch them over and over again.
Mhm.
Yet you still have at least multiple ways that the word is used.
Right.
Yeah, cool. All right, let me ask, what are some takeaways from doing the videos? Like, Capstone is meant to be like a learning experience,
Right.
right? So what are some things you learned?
Well, it helped teach me how to explain things in a different way, as well as just make sure that I fully understand the definition of a word myself, which for these words isn't too difficult, but it helped me understand that not everything has one definition.
What comes next? So you're going to print out this poster?
Right.
Do you have like a poster printer here at school or something?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, I think you might. There's probably some,
I'm sure there
right?
is, yeah.
And then where's the poster going to live?
I'm hoping to put it in classrooms around the school so that people can scan it whenever they need, and it's easily accessible.
Because there are students at this school that could use that, right? I mean, that's because I know there are students in this school that use Lamp Words for Life. So but the thing is, it wouldn't necessarily, you're modeling Lamp Words for Life at the beginning, that particular app, but the concept behind the word, that really could work for any AAC app,
Right.
you know? So if you were using a different app, you could still use these videos to teach what come means, to what drink means, what where means, right? Yeah. Okay. That sounds like a great strategy, is to put the poster around. Do you feel like other people could do that too?
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. I think because I only made 15 words, there's a lot of room for other people to enact a similar concept and make videos and posters.
They could take your poster just as is, easy peasy, print it out, put it around their school.
Right.
But then they could also take your table, put it in their own Google Doc, and make it expand on it. Right?
Right.
Like here's version 1, version 2, right? If other people wanted to do their own, if there's students out there listening right now, it's like, hey, that sounds like I could do that capstone project next year. I'll expand upon it, right? Keep that work flowing and going.
Right.
Now, at the end of the year, is there some sort of, I know in past years, I have attended a capstone like celebration where I was in maybe the gym or something, where there's tables set up and people go around and you walk around and you're at the table sort of showing off is that happening this year? Do you know?
There is one, actually tomorrow, I was going to send an email today, with everybody has a trifold board to show off their project.
Oh, so are you doing that? Oh, so you have to make this poster today somewhere. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fantastic. So that was the crux of your project, was making these videos. I did see that one Tar Heel Reader book. Was that the only one you made, or did you make some others?
I've made 2 so far. So the derivatives one and the shapes one, and then I'm hoping to make maybe 2 more today.
2 more? Really? Okay. What concepts do you think you're going to tackle?
Maybe money value and adding money, because I feel like that's pretty important, and integrals. So 2 calculus and 2 more simple concepts.
Fantastic. Yeah. The idea behind so if people, there might be people listening that don't know what Tar Heel Reader is. So Tar Heel Reader is a website where anyone can author a book. The book has images and lines to put text underneath it, and you hit kind of a next button and you can just scroll through the book, almost like a PowerPoint or a Google Slides. Is that fair?
Yes.
And what was your experience in creating those books? Let's talk about that for a second.
Well, to create my books, I started off by creating like a storyline so that I had a method of what to do. But once I was trying to import pictures, I realized that some of them are limited, especially for calculus concepts. So I ended up drawing my own pictures for one of my books, and that really helped show the concept more clearly. Gotcha.
Okay. And then you went over and put it in Tar Heel Reader? Gotcha. And what was the experience working with Tar Heel Reader, that particular tool? Because it was new to you, right? You had never heard of that before. So new tool, how did you feel about it?
I thought the way they have you create books is really simple and super helpful because it pretty much walks you through the steps.
Gotcha. So it's easy to replicate as well.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Where are those? I mean, so people could go and search for those Tar Heel Reader books, the 2 that you've created, and then the 2 that you're planning on creating. Is there anywhere else that people can go and find this information, or just go search it on Tar Heel Reader?
I'm pretty sure it's only on Tar Heel Reader right now.
Gotcha. All right. Well, Ceci, let me ask you a final couple questions here, and that is, tell me about the support. The 2 teacher mentors that were helping you, the community helper and the teacher mentor. What were the?
So my teacher mentor is Mr. Loper, who has a lot of experience in the field, and then I was working with you, Miss Garrett, Miss Brown, and all of you helped make this possible.
Yeah, Miss Brown is the speech language pathologist that works here at the school. Yeah, and so she met with you too, and kind of, what was that like?
She just showed me some assistive technologies that she's used in her classroom and kind of showed me what my project could look like.
Fantastic. All right, I think everyone's going to be wondering what's next for you. I mean, you're graduating, right? So where does the future lie?
Next year I'm planning on attending UVA, and I'll study biomedical engineering and hopefully specialize in this field.
Fantastic. Well, we are all excited to see what happens in the future. And if you ever need future support, let us know. Let me know when the capstone project thing is happening tomorrow, so that I can come by and say hi and see the other capstones as well. And then I'm going to be shouting this from the rooftops and letting everyone know all about your good work here. Thank you for doing it. It's absolutely necessary, and I hope other people will pick up the mantle and carry on.
Yeah, hopefully. Thank you.